Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about the trend of color correcting. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit and give you kind of some information on it and like what everything does for it and what's the point of it. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly how I do it and then kind of like an updated foundation routine with it. So I show you exactly if I'm color correcting what my foundation routine would be. So I have kind of a lot of information to talk about, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So if you want to see and learn how to color correct, then please keep watching. First, I'm going to talk to you guys about like what each color does, kind of what the purpose is. Color correcting is really to just even out skin tones, make you kind of look like the best version of yourself when wearing makeup. So that's kind of the point of all of it. And each color does something to counteract a specific shade that you don't want in your normal pigment of your skin. So I'm going to go ahead and get started in exactly what each color does. So the first thing I'm going to talk about are like the orangish reds, and I am, just so you guys know, only going to be talking about drugstore or like an inexpensive version of all these things, only because it's not something I do every single day. It's not something that I think is necessary for every single day. So I don't think that you should go out unless you're really into it or you're a professional makeup artist and spend a lot of money on color correctors. I think it's fun to play around with, but I don't actually think it's something that I will do every single day, if you know what I mean. So first things first, I'm going to talk about two different brands. So one is just the Ulta brand. This is a color correct and conceal palette. So it actually just looks like this. This is my first time trying it out today, and I actually really liked the way that it worked. It was like $11.99 or something at Ulta, or $14.99. But I think like a palette like this is good, and you don't need to go buy like that Sephora like Pantone one, which I think is like around $50. Don't feel like you have to do that. And then I'm going to talk to you about a couple different for other options, I guess. So NYX actually makes color correcting in the HD concealer formula, which is like one of my favorite formulas ever anyways. So there's a lavender, I know that there's an orange, I don't have it, there's a green, and then I also have this, which is the NYX Dark Circle Concealer Corrector. I've talked about this before, but it's in the shade Light, and it's like a peach color correcting concealer. So there's that option. And then next I want to talk about the LA Pro Girls. These are awesome. They're about lying. They are about $3. So they come in a bunch of different shades. You can order them offline or Amazon or whatever, but this one is in the shade Nude, and it's a really good peachy orangish shade. So the orange, so that you guys know, shade is to cancel out any blue colors on your skin. So I know Carly Bible just put up a video and showed the color wheel, which actually is a really good idea because it's exactly what's across from you in the color wheel is what it's going to cancel out. So orange and red cancels out blueness. So that's really good for under the eyes and anywhere you might be a little veiny. Keep in mind, I have mostly peaches shades and not orange because I don't have that dark of skin. The darker you are in complexion, the closer you should get to red, and vice versa. If you're lighter, go towards peach. Medium skins, go to orange, which is kind of what I do, like this orangey shade right here. And then dark skin can use red. So I put that right here first, which you'll see me do in the tutorial, and that's kind of the point of that. Next, the green shade. So I have two. I have the NYX and this one. This is going to neutralize redness. So I specifically, when I do color correct, use it for covering up pimples and around my nose where I get a little bit of hormonal redness. Anywhere that you guys have red spots. I know like some people have like veins that are red, or maybe they have like a, I don't know, what's that, like with something, a blood vessel or something that shows through their skin. You can go ahead and use green, and that will really cancel it out. Also, if you have rosacea or anything like that on your skin, this is really good to use green. It really will cancel it out. They also have like green primers and stuff like that that you can use. I'm not super into those just because if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to use some products, but you can, if you have really bad redness, use a green primer that will neutralize your redness. And then they also do make powders for all of this stuff, so you can go over it with like a green powder and a green tinted or like a purple tinted powder or orange tinted powder. I don't necessarily like that. I like to use like clear powders after I do all of this, or just really light toned powders. But they do have that option too if you really feel like you need to color correct and then you want to really set it with the same color. That is an option for you. Okay, so then next, the salmon-y orange color. I did talk about that, but that is going to cancel out any of like the blue, green, purple. Really good for under the eyes, really good for pimples again. And then the purple shade, so like this shade in the middle right here, and then this one on the NYX HD concealer is going to cancel out any yellowness, and it also actually really helps I just dropped it. Helps brighten the skin. So if you feel like you have really a dull area, if you want to add like a little bit more pop to an area, or if you feel like you're a little yellow in some areas. I know some people feel like they get yellow around their eyes, like not right under, but kind of like right here. So that's where you can put the purple. In this video, you'll see I do it actually where I highlight. So that's going to make it a little bit brighter. And I think that it did. I think I used a really like light highlighter, like actually today. Just used the Tiki bronzer from Hard Candy. And I think that it actually made it a lot brighter using this. So that's what the purple is for. So then my last thing I really want to talk about is just like skincare and prep. Because you're going to be adding another layer to your foundation, it's really, really important that your skin is nicely primed and that you blend everything out. I suggest using beauty blenders to blend everything out, just because you do want to keep the product in its place, because you don't want to like rub all the green around all over your face, or the purple or the orange or anything like that. So this will really make sure that it's controlled and kept in its spot, but it also soaks up any excess product, which is really good because you do not want to just be smearing around colors all over your face, and you don't want it to look cakey, because you're still going to go in with your foundation over top of all of the color correcting and then your concealer over top of all the color correcting. So you do want to make sure that it's not super cakey, and then I go in and set with powder. So it is a lot of layers. So I do like to make sure that I'm nice and primed and that I blend it out really, really well so that I don't look cakey. Yeah, so that is pretty much it for color correcting. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I got this look and how I do it. I'm kind of messy with it. I'm not like super, super clean and sharp line because I go in and blend everything out anyways. But let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments down below, and I can try my best to answer them so that it works best for your skin. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with the tutorial. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the color correcting. So I know I just explained to you kind of what everything does, but I'm going to show it to you in action. So I'm going to clip up my hair. First thing that I do, as I told you guys, I don't love the red for my skin tone. I think I'm a little bit too light in complexion, so I don't do the red, but I do love the salmon. So I have two products, obviously, that I showed you. So I have the NYX, and my other option is the Ulta palette. I'm going to try the Ulta palette just because I told you guys I haven't tried it yet, and I know I like the NYX one, but that way I can kind of give you my review. So I'm just going to be placing this right under the eye, and you can see exactly how I do it. I do it in the same formation or the same way that I would do my concealer normally, so I don't really switch anything up for this. And this is going to cancel out like that bluish purple color that I have pretty bad under my eyes, but again, I told you guys I don't do this often because concealer usually does cover it for me. So it'll look like that. And then we're going to go in with the green. I'm going to try the NYX product for this one. And you know I love their concealer, so I'm excited to try this. So this is going to cover any pimples that I have. I'm going to put the green over, and then on my nose and around my nose I just have hormonal redness. So pimples right there on my cheek. I got a lot of pimples today. A little bit right here. Down my nose and around my nose. And just really any redness that you see. So just the places that I typically get red. Go ahead and do some purple. I'm going to use the NYX one again, and I'm just going to put that in the areas that I would typically highlight, because like I mentioned, this is going to brighten. So anywhere that I would want to brighten up, which is like the areas that I highlight. So right there, I'm going to do a little bit on my chin, and then the center of the forehead. So I know this doesn't look super cool or pretty, but I'm going to go ahead and blend all of that in with a damp beauty blender. Now really take your time with the blending part, because like I mentioned before, like you're going to be putting on an extra layer, so you really do want it to be as blended as possible so that your foundation doesn't go on too cakey. But again, like I said, it's gonna look weird. I mean, you're putting color corrector, so don't blend it out to the point where you can't see it anymore. You still want the undertone of the shades. I just want it to be even. For foundation, I'm gonna be going in with the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. I'm in the shade Y40 or Y305. And I'm just gonna take a couple pumps on a MAC 180 brush, or 190, I'm sorry. And then I'm just gonna be putting this on the skin using this like old school foundation brush, and then we're gonna blend it all in with the Beauty Blender. I don't suggest using a brush if you're color correcting, like, or at least one that's too, what am I trying to say? Like a dense brush to blend it in, only because really the whole point of this is so that we keep these colors on us, and if we go over it too much, you're not even going to know that we did any correcting. And I really like to use a damp Beauty Blender also when I'm color correcting, because you are going in with so many layers that I just think if you don't, this will like help soak up the excess product, and I just don't, damp Beauty Blender will help soak up the excess product, so I just think that that's why it helps so much, because you're already just putting on so much product extra, because there's a whole extra layer. Because I still go in with concealer. And I think if you color correct correctly, it does end up looking really natural, because it kind of looks the way your skin should look. Okay, so now we're gonna go in and conceal. For this, I am gonna be using a high-end product as well, and the Naked Weightless Skin Complete Coverage, and I'm in the shade Light Warm. So, and it looks a little white, but we're gonna blend it all out. I have 2 shades of this. I don't know why I just grabbed this one. It's a little light for me right now, but it's okay. And then I'm still gonna highlight in all the places that I normally would. So, like I mentioned before, like you still pretty much do your same routine. I don't need to cancel out any more redness with this though, so I don't need to go in too much more. Like I mentioned to you guys before, there are powders and such that you can color correct with. For me, that is totally not necessary. Like, I think color correcting with just the under the foundation is good enough for me. So I'm just going to go in. Normally, I set my all my concealer with the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. You guys know I typically like bake a little bit with it, so I just put a little bit on a brush, and then I just press it up against the skin in all of the places that we highlighted. I'm gonna go and finish up my eyes, and then I'll show you how I finish up the rest of the foundation look, but I will be back. Okay, so I'm pretty much finished up with the eyes besides the lower lash line, but I'm gonna go ahead and set the rest of my face. You guys know that I love to use the Hourglass Ambient Light Powder in the shade Dim Light. I just tap a duo fiber brush in it, and I literally just pat it so lightly into my skin, and it leaves the most flawless finish. So now we're gonna go in and bronze up the skin a little bit. First, I'm gonna go in with this like more dense e.l.f. powder brush and the Bobbi Brown bronzer that you guys know I'm obsessed with in Golden Light, and just go a little bit heavier into the areas that I would normally contour, but I'm not going for a super contoured look today. But I'm still focusing on those areas. And you guys know I add a little bit of a shimmery bronzer after that always, so I'm going to go in with Luminous Light by Hourglass and just brighten up everything a little bit. So I don't do anything different than I would normally do on my skin for after I color correct. As you guys can tell, I go in with my normal routine. So then I'm going to do a little bit of blush. This is the Lorac Cinematic. I've been obsessed with this blush these past few weeks since I've gotten it. It's so pretty. And then I'm just going to go in, finish my lower lash line and highlights, and I'll be back. So this is the final result. I did my highlight, I did bottom mascara, and then I also went ahead and did my lips. So as you can see, it still looks pretty natural. It looks kind of like my normal skin. I'm not sure if you guys think it looks any better or different, but I definitely can see how it canceled out the redness in my nose. And it definitely looks a little bit brighter, I would say, than my normal makeup does. Like I would say like right here on the cheeks, I think that purple really did help. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I know I kind of threw a lot of information out there, but I know this is like kind of the big trend, so I did want to talk about it on my channel. Don't feel like you have to go out and buy this, or this is a step that you need to do every time you're doing your makeup. It's just fun to play around and to learn new tricks, and I know like contouring kind of came up this way and it became really big, and then the same thing with strobing, and now it's kind of color correcting. So I was excited to kind of teach you guys or share with you like my tips and tricks regarding it. So I hope that you guys like this video. I will see you in my next one. I love you so much and have a great rest of your day.